The Boogeyman, aka Kung Fu Kenny, aka Mr. Morale, but also known as White Tank Top, is back again with the surprise project. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. We did not think we was going to get this in 2024, but hey, here it is, right? And the title of the album is titled GNX. Now, why in the world would this album be titled GNX instead of White Tank Top or Hypocrite or, just a lot of names out there that he could have chose, right? But he went with GNX. If you didn't know, just to bring you down memory lane, because of course, this was before my time, right? This was back when like the dinosaurs was walking around. But anyways, it's more inspired as far as the name GNX off of the 1987 Buick GNX, which is a high performance version of the Buick Regal or Regal. I don't know how you pronounce it. And then obviously its basic themes of the car is experimentation, power, and a nod to the iconic American muscle car culture. Because of course, he does not mess with y'all overseas. I hope y'all know that. Anyways, aligning with Kendrick Lamar's strong infatuation with championing America and completely going at anybody who's outside of America. I wonder who that could be. We're going to get to that in a second. Anyways, this man, Kendrick Lamar, dropped his album GNX, and guess what? It's already #1, as you can see right here. Analytic Dreamz video on Spotify to see the video along with the audio. But basically, as far as it releasing hours, and honestly, I don't know the actual time when this released, but it was way after the initial midnight that usually albums and songs come out. So Thursday at midnight came and went, and then he put out his album. So I don't know the actual time. I do know it was after. It was like 9-10 hours after usually when albums and songs release. So with that being considered, obviously he wanted the spotlight for himself, and he deserves all the attention that this project is about to get, because of course he put on a masterclass display of lyricism time and time again. Even though it was against my favorite musician, which is Aubrey Graham, I can still recognize that this man's ability to put words together is just on a whole nother level, which is why even before the beef, I always labeled Kendrick Lamar as the best modern day rapper. I just never thought I'd see the day where it would come to fruition. So anyways, all the dramatics out of the way, this man's album is at the top of new releases, even dropping 10 plus hours after everybody had time to accumulate streams, units, and everything of that magnitude. Because I just covered new releases, shameless plug, Analytic Dreamz, Notorious Mass Effect on whatever podcast platform you listen on, or you could click my link tree in my bio. But basically, I covered a plethora of new releases spanning from Ariana Grande's new single Popular from the movie that's out now. Obviously, Nicki and Juice WRLD have already collabed last weekend, but they're back again with their track Arctic Tundra, and that's basically an anniversary edition of the Pink Print. And then of course Ray right here just put out a concert from Apple. I don't know what that is. I ain't cover that. I don't know. That's out of my wheelhouse, right? But Ice Cube also released his album, Don't Nobody Care, because of course we just disrespect our old heads in hip hop. So with Kendrick Lamar dropping his album, GNX is set to be a very high acclaimed album critically. It already came out, but let me tell you something. When it comes to people championing Kendrick as far as the savior of hip hop, it's already been done. So now people just needed a project to champion. They already had the track. They already had the anthem as far as 2023 from Kendrick. Now we just need a project so we can champion it. And that is inevitably what he gave us, because I've already listened to this album about 2 to 3 times. And when I tell you this is phenomenal, this is lyricism on a whole nother level. But you don't need me to tell you that. Just listen to the album. I mean, the way that this man is going at certain individuals, I'm just going to say there's no round 2. And hopefully Drake doesn't bark up that tree again. That's all I'm going to leave it at. Well, that's where I'm going to leave it at. Because, of course, sales is something we cover a lot over here at Notorious Mass Effect, because hence the name. We like to go across the litmus scale of engagement and consumption from a lot of superstars in the music industry and the gaming industry. But specifically focusing on music, Kendrick has been running the charts with the most popular hip-hop diss track of all time, to the point where it's even one of the most successful hip-hop tracks of all time. So forget the hip-hop diss track genre that you could put it in. It's one of the most successful hip-hop tracks of all time when referring to Not Like Us. Now, if you notice on the album, Not Like Us is nowhere to be found. So why is that? The world may never know. But overall, Kendrick did not need Not Like Us to be on this album because it's jam-packed with other singles. I mean, the one he played at the beginning of the music video is on this album, and it's the second track titled Squabble Up, because first I thought it was reincarnated, but it's actually not when you listen to the album. So, and then to back all of that up, to showcase how much people have just been waiting for Kendrick Lamar. Oh, actually, his albums aren't on the charts anymore. That's interesting. So Kendrick does not have any albums in the top 50, but I'm not gonna tell y'all who do, you know, because y'all gonna say I'm glazing, right? But I'm just saying, Kendrick's albums are nowhere to be found on the top 50. But throughout the year, basically, I was going to say that Damn and Good Kid, Mad City was consistently in the 30th most played albums in the world on the charts, but currently it's not on there. So it probably just fell off, which, you know, sometimes it fluctuates. Well, not sometimes, it always fluctuates, and it's just probably not on the charts right now. But anyways, as far as tracks, obviously Not Like Us has slid a little bit, as it was consistently in the top 3 for like the whole year. Now it's at 16th most played track in the world. I mean, imagine being on the charts for 28 weeks in the top 3, and then now you start to slide, and when you do, you're the 16th most played track in the world. I mean, goodness, talk about, I mean, that's just, hey, let's just feel sorry for Kendrick, right? So anyways, obviously I'm saying all that to say that this man has had a monumental year when it comes to putting on for hip hop. But also, I'm not gonna lie to you, I had a crazy epiphany when I was covering the Grammys, and I realized that Childish Gambino's This Is America track is the only hip hop track to ever win Record of the Year at the Grammys. Ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you that track, and y'all gonna think I'll be in a Drake stan, but you gotta do your homework, right? Actually, we're not even gonna do your homework. Analytic Dreamz video on Spotify to see the video along with the audio, because I'm about to show y'all this right quick. Let me see. Childish. Actually, let's just type in Gambino. So This Is America started off as a Drake diss, and it's the only hip hop track to ever win Record of the Year at the Grammys, right? And then, of course, Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar is nominated for Record of the Year. So it would be so ironic and just the funniest thing ever if two tracks that's essentially dissing that Canadian wins the Record of the Year. It's almost like the Grammys are telling hip-hop musicians the only way to get recognized on the highest level, which is Record of the Year, is to diss that Canadian. Anyways, people gonna say I'm hating, right? So let's just listen to Gambino, who has the only Record of the Year award ever as far as a hip hop track. Let's listen to how it started.
Song started as,
once again, Analytic Dreamz video on Spotify to see the video along with the audio.
for the song started as a joke. To be completely honest, like, This Is America, like, that was all we had, was like that line.
This is America. Don't got you slipping now. Look how I'm living now.
And it started as a Drake diss, to be honest.
I just want y'all to know, as a Drake stan, I don't be making this stuff up. Like, some people you could call glazing. Like, sometimes academics, he be bringing up some crazy points that you could be like, hey, he just doing tricks on it, right? But I feel like I bring up objective things from the people himself. He made the track, right? And he's saying it started off as a Drake diss track. And it's the only hip hop track ever to win Record of the Year. And now, Not Like Us is nominated for Record of the Year. Is this not crazy? Am I tripping? Y'all know how long Grammys have been around? All these nominations as far as from what Kanye used to put out in his prime, from what Jay-Z used to put out in his prime. And the first ever hip-hop track to win Record of the Year is a Drake diss track. And then Kendrick's Not Like Us is nominated for Record of the Year. It's whatever, man. At this point, I mean, hey, I guess we just glazing, right? We just gonna skip past the objective facts, but whatever. Back to sales, right? Kendrick Lamar has an interesting track record when it comes to first week sales. Let me put my glasses back on. You know I'm 24 going on 60. All right. So Kendrick Lamar's first week sales is basically started off with Section 80, of course, 5,000 first week sales. Good Kid, Mad City had 242,000 first week sales. To Pimp a Butterfly had 324,000 first week sales. Pretty significant jump, right? Untitled, Unmastered, which technically that is to give Kendrick a little bit of leeway and a little bit of grace. I believe that's more of a mixtape, but once you get into superstar land, there's no such thing as a mixtape. Every major label wants their piece of your pie. So I think Untitled, Unmastered, hence the name, is literally a mixtape, but you know, they counted the first week sales, so that dipped a little bit to 178 as far as first week sales. And then of course, Damn was when everything changed. And that's the first time he ever overtook Drake as far as outselling him in consumption for his album, when he sold 603,000 first week sales. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is phenomenal. 603,000 first week sales. I don't know the last time we've seen that number. I mean, the biggest, racking my brain, I think the biggest release in first week sales was Eminem, I believe. Let me see. Because I think it was Future, Eminem, and then Travis, I believe. But I'm trying to figure out. Okay, so basically, as far as for the year of 2024. Okay, so Eminem's album sold 287 first week. I know Travis did way more than that. Not way more. Well, yeah, way more. Okay, so the top selling album's first week sales was Chromacopia with basically 300,000 sales first week. And the actual number is 299, but hey, it's basically 300. Then you had Eminem with The Death of Slim Shady, 281,000 first week sales. And then you had We Don't Trust You with 251,000 first week sales. So those are the top three selling albums as far as first week. Obviously, the longevity is a whole nother different discussion, but basically that's the litmus scale when we talk about how much engagement and anticipation can you build up for your project. This album by Kendrick that he just surprise dropped is going to blow all these numbers out of the water. I could see him having a bigger first week than Damn, and that would entail it being in the 600 to 700 range as far as first week sales. Now, it's a surprise album, but people have been waiting for this. People will be listening to this and dissecting this with a fine-tooth comb, especially the Drake stands, because if you don't know, hey, come back over with me to Analytic Dreamz video on Spotify to see the video along with the audio. Drake, of course, he couldn't live without commenting on this album release, right? So he posted from his Finsta, and if you don't believe this is his Finsta, just go to right here, plot twist, right? You click this little link. Y'all tell me who else is going to have access to all this behind-the-scenes content of Drake. So anyways, this is Drake's Finsta. You know, I guess he's trying to channel his inner baddie or whatever. So he created a Finsta. I don't know what's going on with that man. But and then this is the Instagram account, right? So as far as the Twitter account, he posted out, I don't know if y'all can see that. All right. He posted out, he posted what was this, a sighing emoji? So he's like, basically, he's yawning. Yeah, it's like a yawning emoji. Basically, he's saying it's boring, right? Obviously, in a passive-aggressive way, he's not putting any name on the bullet. He's just putting out the yawning emoji, which is why Kendrick always said, forget all that sneak dissing. If I take flight, it's going to be direct. I think he said that, right? Yeah. If I take flight, it's going to be direct. I think he said that on Euphoria. Anyways, he doesn't like this as far as the sneak dissing. And here Drake is doing it again. So do of that what you will. So Drake could not care less about this album, as he just posted a yawning emoji, probably going to be trashing it for the end of time, right? And then you have Kendrick right here, of course. This is the album cover. Okay, so this is the album cover. That's why I even gave the background for the title of the album, because most people are not going to know what GNX stands for. So now, to look like a real hip-hop head, you can tell people, hey, did you know that Kendrick's album cover was inspired by the 1987 Buick GNX? And they'd be like, no, wow, you really know hip-hop. And then you'd be like, hey, now you got a little brownie points, right? So anyways, thank me later. Kendrick is set to headline the 2025 Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. Why is that a big deal? Kendrick even spoke on this himself on this album. Told y'all I listened to it, right? On the track Wacced Out Murals, where he basically said, used to bump the Carter 3. I held my rolly chain proud / irony. I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. That's a hard bar for the simple fact that connections and industry ties is a real thing. So even though you're going at somebody who's a completely different human than Lil Wayne, you just can't disregard the fact that Lil Wayne is one of the more pivotal people who put on Drake. So now he looks at him as his protege. So anything you do against Drake, he just has to condemn. He just automatically has to condemn it, right? Even though the way he condemned it was like the weakest way possible. I mean, he came out, held up a OVO chain, and he was like, I love my boy Drake, and then just walked off. Like, he ain't say nothing else. He wasn't like, man, I hate that Kendrick is calling him a pedophile. He ain't say none of that. He just held up an OVO chain and walked off stage. He was like, hey, yeah, I'm with him. Yeah, yeah. Like, it was the weakest cosign ever. But anyways, obviously, Kendrick doing that. And then, of course, so not only did he just completely mutilate his protege verbally and on the charts, but then he took his Super Bowl headline show in New Orleans. Because if you don't know, this is something that a lot of people don't know, because when it comes to Jay-Z, people think that hip-hop heads just be talking when we talk about the influence of Jay-Z on the landscape of hip-hop. I mean, he's literally over the entertainment aspect of the NFL. So, I mean, there's that fact, right? And then they try to come out and say, oh, Jay-Z doesn't have anything to do with it. It's a committee. And then one of the guys who literally was a part of the selection was like, no, Jay-Z literally had a hand in selecting the people. So anyways, the reason why people think it was taken from him is because, was it Fabletics? I think it was Fabletics. So Jay-Z, I'm trying to find a video where it was together. Well, is this Jay-Z speaking on it? Is this Lil Wayne speaking on it? I don't think. Oh, okay. I do remember Cameron saying this, because basically he saw the same thing that we were seeing. I can't find a Fabletics. But anyways, Jay-Z and Lil Wayne was hanging out at some type of Fabletics event. And essentially what the reports are is that Jay-Z was telling him that he had the Super Bowl halftime show, right? And then something happened towards the end of that event to where it was taken from him. I don't know what could have happened, but all I'm going to say is Nicki Minaj has no nominations for Pink Friday 2 for the Grammys. Now, y'all probably thinking, what in the world type of left turn did you just take? Y'all got to follow me. Who is Nicki under? Who will Lil Wayne bring out when it comes to the Super Bowl? Who's over the Super Bowl entertainment? And let's be honest, who has a heavy hand in selecting the hip-hop nominees for the Grammys? Jay-Z has a lot of power in this hip-hop industry, and deservedly so, of course. But let's just say, I could be making this up, right? Lil Wayne was wanting to bring out Nicki at the halftime show. Just like when Dr. Dre brought out 50, even though he's not from LA, right? And Jay-Z tried to block that. And if y'all, I got to pull up the receipts, because people just gonna, especially old heads, they're gonna be like, you just making up stuff, young blood. You don't know what you're talking about, right? Let's just look up 50 Cent literally saying what I'm saying right here. Because I think he was on The Breakfast Club when he said the whole deal with the Super Bowl. Actually, let's just type in Super Bowl, because Jay-Z, and sometimes you got to put a hyphen. Let me see, 50 Cent, Super Bowl. So basically, I don't know where's this at. Oh, is it right here?
Look, Jay-Z and them was putting it together.
Ah, here we go. See, this is for people who don't really care for objective facts. This is for you just to make you upset. All right, so here's 50 Cent. I don't know why it's in Spanish. I'm sorry, I couldn't find any other video. Just, hey, become bilingual, right? But obviously you can understand what he's saying. So here's Curtis himself telling you what happened as far as the selection for the Super Bowl.
Look, Jay-Z and them was putting it together. Mm-hmm. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL had some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, I don't. What is the issue? You see what I'm saying? Like, and I with M, because like with Nori was, he had communication. He said, yeah, I talked to the big homie. He was saying to Jay, he was telling me, you know, the white boy wouldn't do the truth without 50.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's talking about Eminem.
And I'm like, that's when I start saying crazy stuff, because I look and I go, oh, that's your big homie, right? And so he imaged himself after a gay painter. The big homie want to look like a gay painter.
He's talking about Jay-Z. See, this is why Jay-Z don't like him. So, but anyways, let's get back to it.
We're talking about Basquiat. He wants to look like a gay painter.
Oh my God.
I don't condone that.
So now look, what I'm saying to you is, look, when you start looking at, that's not mine, that's theirs, they Harper, right? But when you look at, M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself, like I'm a shady aftermath. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's so much G in it, generation.
All right, so yeah, he's basically talking about how Jay-Z hated on him as far as getting on that Super Bowl halftime show. But obviously, because of Eminem, he ended up being on that Super Bowl halftime show. If you didn't know who he was talking about, he was making fun of Jay-Z always rapping about art, right? Which I don't even know why that's But Jay-Z has some of the weirdest disses come his way. Like 46 in a karate class, you rap about art. Like, how is that a diss? I don't understand. Anyways, let's keep going. But basically, I say all that to say this. I could be making it up, right? If Lil Wayne wanted to bring Nicki on stage and Jay-Z said no, then ended up announcing that Kendrick is going to be the headline for the Super Bowl in New Orleans. This is not just some random Super Bowl. This is at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, obviously the hometown of Lil Wayne. So put those puzzle pieces together as you may. But I just want to let y'all know that when it comes to Kendrick completely mutilating Lil Wayne's protege and then ultimately being given what he thought was his Super Bowl slot in New Orleans, safe to say that when Kendrick comes back on Wacced Out Murals and says, used to bump the Carter 3, I held my Rolly chain proud, / irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down. When I tell y'all there's some deep bars on this track, on this entire body of work, you will have to play this a bunch of times just to get into the real understanding, just to get a real understanding on where Kendrick's coming from. Because not a lot of people know the background between the Super Bowl. They just think it was given to Kendrick and that was it, right? But yeah, so there we go. I broke it down for you a little bit. With that being said, of course, he has some interesting lines towards the Canadian, right? But I'm going to let y'all listen to the album. I don't want to spoil it for you. I just wanted to tell y'all that fact because it ties into him performing at the Super Bowl. Also, he has a Heart Part 6 on this album, which is funny because obviously Drake was trying to make fun of the Heart series by putting out his Heart Part 6. Technically, what Young Thug did to Lil Wayne catch all type of strays. This man just get disrespected. But anyways, same as to what Young Thug did to Lil Wayne when he put out the Barter 6, basically copying the Carter series, right? What else? So this marks his first studio album since Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Obviously, I didn't tell y'all the first week sales for the Big Steppers. Mr. Morale first week. So Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Where's this at? Okay, Mr. Morale. I don't know why it wasn't on the list I had earlier. Anyways, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. First week sales. Only reason I'm bringing up sales is for the simple note that Kendrick usually doesn't outsell every hip hop artist. He's usually towards the top, but he's never like number one. Last time he was number one was Damn. So Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers did 295,000 first week sales, which is still very impressive. But this album's going to blow that out of the water. It's not even going to be close. It's going to actually be his most successful project ever. That's why it's a surprise release. You really don't need too many marketing dollars off of what you already garnered with the most successful hip hop track of all time. Well, one of them. So that being said, I think that's basically it. Kendrick has a lot to unpack on this album, which is why this man, obviously, I don't know if y'all can tell, I'm a little under the weather, but of course, Kendrick doesn't care. This man dropped a whole project when I thought I was going to be able to sleep. So we're going to get to the coverage of that. So that will be coming soon as far as the entire track listing, me breaking it down track by track, because that's the type of respect that White Tank Top deserves. I'm crazy, ain't I? Anyways, click my link tree in my bio. Let me know on one of my social medias. What do you think about Kendrick Lamar's surprise album, GNX? And at the end of the day, what is your favorite track off of this album currently?